Train. The first map up, the pick of Selfless. They've got one round to their name on this map. There's really nowhere else to go but up. Small chance that it's worse, but I don't think I'm expecting a 16-0. What about you, Launders?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, they did get their side choice after all.
That's true. They did opt for the T side initially, and well, this time they picked it. So, of course, TSM going to snag up that CT side, as you do. And noticing something right away, Selfless have gone full Kevlar. TSM have gone full Kevlar. It looks like the desk, the drunk bar fight analogy is going to hold true here onto the pistol round.
Yeah, absolutely. Who this favors, it's hard to say. You don't necessarily need utility to win you a round on a pistol. Here's Twist to go for the info.
Uber's still watching, waiting for some flanks. Everyone on Selfless just kind of taking their time.
Twist is just such a strong position right now. I mean, he could do nothing more here and secure outside. There's main line.
Yeah, so Twist actually challenging up Ivy. He's got back to the green bins. He's got some information. He knows they're either setting up for something at middle or potentially poised to go inner.
They have to make a decision of whether or not they want to deal with Twist, go back and retake Ivy, or simply go outside without Ivy control and the knowledge that TSM have that they can just watch T-Con and ladder and not worry about what's behind them.
You can see the bomb down in the showers still. Selfless now starting to make their way into the back halls here. And Automatic giving up that aggressive angle, so he will miss this information. He's falling back. He's got on top of the yellow train from the looks of it. He's being spotted. Mitch might be able to bring him down, but no, Automatic just doing his best, trying to stay alive. Now forced to take a fight, and it's one that he cannot win. 1 versus 4, essentially. And Relics, he's already pushed through all the way. He won't be even needed. Mitch and Uber doing all the fragging on their way forward. Semphis backed up into a corner inside of Z, and now it's all going to be on Twist. 1 HP and Selfless. No one having even died yet, and probably won't.
So it's actually on the CT side where Armor is more effective versus Terrorist, and on the Terrorist side where Armor is less effective versus CTs. But it's funny because the incentive to buy grenades is all on the CT side, right? To buy kits, to buy utility, and so it kind of balances out. But now you have 10 players who have Armor. Selfless decide to just group up and hit inner. Automatic, the one man there, had to push back and was kind of responsible for getting a frag, or at least staying alive for the retake. And it would have been a tough one because the bomb goes down and it's a 10-second defuse, considering no one has a kit. TSM failed in the fragging department, and Selfless overran them. I like that after the info came out from Twist that they decided to go inner really quickly. It was a good rotate. They didn't have any info on that part of the site, or on that part of the map, and it worked out.
Oh, mainline just flying through the smoke there to get to the lower ramp. He takes down Automatic. Relics from afar with the Galil headshot onto Finesse. Sick answering back with the Deagle. That lands on Nifty, and he's going to continue to fight his way forward. Or is he? Uber, it looks like he was even just shooting through the smoke there from the back of that inner Pop Dog train. Semphis trying to work around the smoke over here by the fuel tanker. Mainline having some fun with the ladders, which are quite plentiful here on train.
2 players low.
Yeah, this is maybe doable. Uber and Relics both on a 5 HP, but you can see Mitch kind of securing the round up there in the box halls, just waiting with his UMP. Relics buying so much time and may even get a kill here. He does get one. Semphis brings him down. Looking for one more shot onto Uber, who at this point is going down with the ship. Will the round end in time to keep them up? No, Uber dies.
Yeah, four people die from Selfless, so really solid round from TSM, who are going to move into this one and save. No, ultimately, they talked about this on the desk, but TSM love to buy on the second round. We see that pattern follow through into this map, and it's not the biggest deal for them. The issue, I think, the biggest issue is that Semphis decided to partake in the buy-up as well. Now, he's going to be the one to pick up the op, so that severely hinders his ability to do so on the 4th round if he wants to do it with Armor or with any nades at all.
So Selfless with a 2-0 start. They've already doubled their round wins on train this tournament. So that is a good sign for them. Starting off with the quick 3-0. As Nifty going to move out of Ivy through the flames, takes down 2. Nice little spray transfer there. And that'll leave Semphis with a P250 behind a smoke, and just a mission of trying to cause some damage. Nifty was keeping his eyes on this for a second, so Semphis is actually in a position that maybe Selfless think is cleared. Not the case. They're just shooting everything, trying to get him to peek out, but he's not doing it. At this point, he maybe just gets an exit. He's been spotted as mainline spins around off that bomb train, and up top, it's Nifty on top of green.
Yeah, actually much better to just hang out there and wait for the potential for an exit frag to come your way. It increases your odds of getting the kill much more than peeking out to an angle that potentially terrorists are holding in the afterplant. And with no armor, it's not that he was trying to win the round or do something super sick like a ninja defuse. It's just that he's trying to improve his chances of actually getting a frag in the first place. And now we have the 5 rifle buyout. Selfless is not going to be getting the op. Whether or not the buyout influenced that decision is up for debate, but I don't think it did because I'm sure he would have been fully aware that he wanted the op if that were the case.
Selfless using a bit of utility to just grab the control here of the hallways that lead into that B-bomb site. Automatic playing the site solo, did put down a smoke. Rotations are going to come in. That's Selfless coming over to help out. And look what's available to TSM here on their first rifle round. Just a couple flashes. We know they've used a smoke or two, but essentially no utility, no kits going into the first rifle round.
Yeah, they burned themselves dry already, and Selfless have a huge advantage. This is a situation where, as a terrorist, you want to slow it down as much as possible. Try to bait out whatever remaining utility you can, and then pour out into trying to get a kill off of map control, which is much easier when you can't get Molotov'd off, smoked off, you know, flashed and then peeked. Info they might have, considering Solomid decide to force up on that second round.
So Selfless, we did just see them breaking out the windows. Maybe they will stage and execute to the outer yard, or at least try to fake it, as now all of Selfless starting to converge here and run to the inner site. There's the train on the lower ramp. Uber jumping the gun a little bit, but he will stay alive. No, he won't. Selfless through the smoke, finds the kill. Now Automatic playing on the opposite side of that train. Nifty up top does get the revenge frag and distracts FNS enough. Mainline moves in from behind. I believe he went down ladder to make his way there, and he's doing a great job. He's found 2 kills in that position, 3 overall on the round, and that's going to leave Twist trying to retake. Again, no kit, 1 versus 2. He has the advantage of being unknown at this point, but clutches on this map are so difficult.
Oh, look how far each terrorist is, and both of them are in positions to clutch. Like, they're not even both just trying to look for kills. There's Mainline to get his, but it would have been just as hard if he didn't. And Mainline getting 4 kills as well. So picking up the slack there as the execute seemed kind of lackluster as they came down the ramp. Uber kind of sat there and spammed through the smoke, which is much easier for the CT who has that lined up before the smoke pops, as opposed to Uber, who is trying to figure out where the tracers are coming from or where he's hearing the bullets penetrate the smoke, and then we see him come out on the worst side of that trade.
Wow, and TSM deciding to actually continue to buy up here. I'd say maybe a questionable decision, going basically shoddy snipes with the Mag 7 and the 2 scouts. CZ and Famas also making an appearance here on what is an interesting buy-up. Mitch waiting for some aggression.
Yeah, this is actually just such a horrible decision to buy. Like, they could have saved 1 round here. Automatically does get a kill. No trade to answer as well. Doesn't even take a point of damage. Has no one to contest him. Is even able to re-aggress in this position. And just is going to have 1 more
Why
person.
are they just walking? Relix walks into Automatic, and then Mitch just does the same exact thing. I mean, surely you expect, like, he got 1 kill, he's backed off, but we've got a 3-on-3 right now. 6 standing on the bomb train. He'll spray down Uber. Mainline moving up. Will he be the difference maker once again for this Selfless lineup? And he goes down. Finesse, close range with that CZ. And Nifty through the trains, was able to see a little bit of Sick. Connects with the shot. Nifty left. This is a 1 versus 3, turned into a 1v2. Spotted down and sandwiched. Men on both sides, and it's Automatic. 2 kills with the shotty. The 3rd there with the AK.
This really is a slugfest. I mean, ultimately, Mitch came down late for the trade, but it seemed like a really inopportune moment to do so. Maybe he didn't expect Automatic to still be there. I mean, that's obviously why, but those close angles are very familiar and very friendly for CTs, as you have 1 turn that leads into a wall that's, you know, 4 or 5 inches long, meaning that he could hug that wall, be able to run down the ramp after a shot, and get to safety no problem. So he's a lot more incentive to go down, to stay there than Automatic does of staying out there.
I like that smoke. Preset one there by FNS. I'm sure it lands near T-Con, forcing the terrorist to push through. And while Relix did, he was greeted by Sick. Gives him a headshot. Automatic holding on inner. He's going to grab both Mainline and Uber. No access to the B site. Nifty caught up in a smoke. Does actually manage to get himself through. Long spray down onto Finesse, and Mitch getting involved. Finds the kill onto Automatic. TSM with the man advantage for the bomb. It looks to be going down. 6 killed Mitch, and it's all on Nifty once more. 12 HP, 1 versus 3. Nowhere to go but into the grave.
The quick enter hit doesn't pay off. They get the bomb plant, but Solomid come away with the round. And again, off the back of a force, a couple of like mag 7 kills that allow Automatic to build up the bank and just a basically dominant couple of rounds where they've kept 3 players alive. Solomid move into this round with the potential to almost even up. Selfless have decided to head armor buy, and some of them are buying down to 0. It seems like Nifty is the only one saving. Man, this is crazy. No, I think they have, they obviously have a strategy for this round with all the utility that they bought and not purchasing any AKs, or dropping AKs for that matter. But again, just crazy economic decisions on both sides.
Oh, I was kind of expecting just the quick outer play from Selfless. We saw it work so well for them at the Austin, DreamHack Austin, up against Team Liquid.
The reason this decision is weird is because Solomid have saved up 5 rebuys in the last 2 rounds. So what is it that Selfless see about winning this round that is so valuable to them?
Yeah, not quite in a position where they can shatter TSM's economy on just 1 round win.
Especially considering you put yourself in advantage at a spawn. And now are basically just defaulting and taking some damage.
And Sick, if Selfless did have any plans, Sick is disrupting them with this push through the T connector. He's killed 1, he spots out the bomb, he brings Nifty down, he knows the bomb is down there. And it's now Selfless. They had utility, but were unable to use any of it.
Oh my gosh.
And this round is looking like a disaster.
You have white halls for free. You could get to the back of B, and if someone pushes up and you swarm them with Tech 9s, you have a big advantage there if you're able to get that lurk kill around the smoke. But instead, we have a default where you have 2 people go Ivy. They're looking down one of the longest lanes and most difficult lanes as a terrorist on any part of the map in any in this entire game. And then they don't throw any of their utility. Instead, they chase a frag versus Sick, which would have been a nice opening kill. I'll give them that. But then they don't double peek them. They go one at a time, and each of them are dropping a smoke, flash, and nade, right? So they don't even give an AK for their teammate to pick up. They just have unrecoverable utility.
Oh, nice nade as well onto Selfless as they try to work their way in. Twist and Automatic having none of it in TSM. Flawless round for them. Selfless round with a lot of question marks surrounding it.
They have now a round where they're going to save one more time, where they could have had a full buy with pretty much everything that they wanted to. And Solomid have a whole new set of rebuys after that, are only repurchasing the utility that they threw. And obviously doesn't follow through with them into the next round.
And here's Selfless, this time with just pistols, looking to go quick into the outer yard. Mitch is the first one out. Semphis has already cut him down. Mainline, the next one on the front lines. He's actually got a 1D gun to Sick, but then Semphis coming through with the pistol and Finesse torching Uber. We've got Nifty by himself, and he will die to Automatic.
The good thing is for Selfless, right, they have 4 T rounds, which is a huge amount considering Solomid only have 4 for themselves on CT. The issue then becomes T-side rounds are harder to win. Let's say you win an average of 30% of your T-side rounds. Well, now you've got to win 3 in a row just to get Solomid to save because of all the rebuys that you've given them off of the rounds that you won where you didn't do enough damage. And it does become a game of economics at that point.
Should have paid more attention in Econ 101 if you wanted to be a CS pro. As we've got Relics, here's that fast outer take that we know and love from Selfless, but will it work here against TSM? Finesse grabbing that first frag, almost getting a few more, but it's Mainline who answers back. Twist, the young gun spraying down Relics. TSM, though, still with the man advantage. Selfless have planted the bomb, but Sick already working his way on the flank from T-Con, brings down Nifty. Mitch holding fast there at E-Box, does get 1, actually 2 more frags onto Automatic, but then jumping, Semphis will take him out of the air. We've got Mainline from that Z connector. He's now been spotted, and Semphis, he just grabs that kill. 2 kills on the round for Semphis.
Yeah, they try to make it happen. It doesn't work. Solomid have shown that they can win versus the outer A-take of Selfless. Now, when we talked to them, Ryu said that they have many variations of this one A-take that worked extremely well versus Liquid at DreamHack Austin, and that we couldn't see it. It's hard to see from the spectator's perspective, but there are many caveats that make their outer take and that don't necessarily give away what they do every round, even though it looks like they're running the same thing over and over again. We didn't even have TSM counter nade T-Con, which they said was basically the best way to deal with it, or one of the ways. And yet, TSM were still able to win. Now, part of that is because they have the ops in the hands of both Semphis and now Automatic, but also everybody pitching in, getting a frag apiece.
Well, next time this A-take happens, I'm going to pay attention. I've brought up the overview of A on my computer here, so maybe we can notice some of those subtle variations as of right now, it's TSM who throw Molotovs to the right side of that blue train and also into T-Con immediately. So that's going to definitely stop some of that aggression from Selfless. And now on this round, we've got Semphis holding out on Ivy. They're trying to bait the shot, and they bait it, but it still connects. That hits Mitch. Now mainline left alone, and he's the man who he can't fall back. He's going to have to use the utility, and Semphis not going to be eluded with that flashbang. What a
gains.
shot.
It's all those gains paying off.
Seriously.
Super fast. Yeah, and a couple of shoulders just picked off of Selfless. They have 3 players alive. Again, once again, just failing in their default. And having to go into an execute with 3 players alive, in fact, not bothering throwing smokes. This is when walkouts do become stronger and more effective, because you don't get counter-nated, but it's the man disadvantage that's really going to hunt them, excuse me.
Oh, Uber,
nice
that's
spray.
what we want to see. Spraying down, finding 2, making this round a possibility when maybe it shouldn't be. Relics over the bomb train. Nice headshot onto Automatic. 2-on-2, and the bomb's going down, but Sick has worked his way around so quickly in another lineup. Sick does Uber one better, and he will win the round here for TSM.
Yeah, they seal it up. I mean, it did come close. That was really nice. A couple of great individual plays from Selfless to try to bring that back from a 2v5 situation. Well, it was originally a 3v5, but nonetheless, Solomid win. And now it's 6-4, and Selfless are most likely back on a save. They have an opportunity to try to buy. Oh no, they do have more than enough money actually. Only. I think Nifty will have just a flash and a smoke to his name, or instead of Molotov, and I wonder what will come of this, if it's going to be that outer take that we know works so well for them.
Looks like they will be spreading out, though. 3 members going into the hallways, and a couple holding back, so it's going to be that default. A little bit of utility expended here for Selfless, just trying to, again, grab the control of these hallways that lead into B. Relic's thinking maybe someone's hiding out there who will toss in a nade, but to no avail, really. Look at Automatic. If you kill anyone from that angle, I'm going to have to shake Automatic's hand after this.
Well, people like to walk out upper, so you do have more than enough time. Like, people aren't just going to run by you. Otherwise, obviously, that wouldn't work,
yeah,
as you're trying to point out. But Selfless is just here to support that lower ramp. That smoke won't do too much. His off, however...
That smoke bounced so high, so that smoke hasn't even bloomed yet. Semphis just moves in front of it. Maybe should have had that 3rd kill. Does finally convert it. And this nade, that's a nade.
Oh no, it's too far.
It did 1 HP! 1 HP!
Oh, wow. The bomb goes down now. It's 1v3. If that turns into a round, that would be crazy. He doesn't actually find the kill. We discussed this exact situation.
Yeah, we had to talk about nades. Like, if you're at a threshold and a nade does any damage, maybe it should just finish you off.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the most extreme example you could possibly have, from 2 to 1 HP.
1 HP. But nonetheless, it doesn't result in a round. Solomid win another retake, but have had nothing but glaring control of each round up until the last moments. The bomb is going down for Selfless, which is a good sign for them, giving them more outs in this half on T side. But look at this. Semphis is able to get 1 shot, 2 shots, stay on cycle, out in the open, go for another shot, and get 3 frags.
And I think that smoke needs to be readjusted, because the way that smoke coming in hit the ramp, it bounced like 30 feet in the air, and it took forever to bloom. I
mean, not only that, the Z-smoke that was supposed to put him out wasn't there, but he wasn't blind at any point of the round.
Should have had a flash to at least supplement that, and there's the one that's going to pop Automatic. Oh, he's in a tight spot, and he's been found out, and one of the few things in CSGO that's very spammable, those coils. Mainline will get the kill through it. Semphis going to work his way in. There's a flash to try to retake through Z. It's a 4-on-4. Selfless were not able to actually get very far forward in this inner train yard. Man at the fuel tanker. Nifty actually having some trouble. And Mitch going to go down to FNS. Relics is trying to continue to move forward. He'll go down. Sick on the upper catwalk grabs him. He's blind, but he's still good for another kill onto mainline, and that's everybody cleaned up. Semphis did not even have to roll up those sleeves. No blood on those hands.
If there's one thing that Solomid do well, it's that they perform their retakes. They're really strong about those, right? We saw that happen on Mirage versus Optic, where they were just able to retake A over and over again with an advantage and then keep many players alive, or with a disadvantage and have it come down to like a 1v1, or even just win it off the back of a man disadvantage. And now, Selfless, again, they get the bomb plant. They're able to get the opening frag. That's a 5v4 turned into a round loss. But there's actually nothing great to say about that besides the fact that they're able to buy one more time, which ultimately means that they have the potential for an 8-7 half.
All right, well, here's that take. We got that smoke on top of the red train. Molotov to the back of green, Molotov onto the bomb train itself. That's what Selfless has been putting down, and they're moving forward and hitting the shots. And Nifty to take FNS out of that Z connector. Last one is actually flanking ladder, but they'll be aware of that. Bomb's going to go down in what is a 4-on-1.
Automatic's job becomes considerably harder if his teammates get eviscerated that quickly on the site. And he could go for the ladder fast flank, especially if he pushes inner off of the read that maybe he has the opportunity to catch him in a default early in the round. The spot could have been powerful, but decided not to drop down the ladder because Selfless just killed all of his teammates. And at that point, then you start watching your backs, and he's like, all right, well, that's just a free frag if I come flying down here. So ultimately, it came down to really nice entries from Selfless. It's hard to say what they did differently on those outer takes. Sometimes it doesn't really, there isn't a real great way to discuss intelligently how an outside T exec works well on train because it gets so random out there with the trains. But if you're able to go with the confusion, then the one thing you know is that going fast works well.
Here's another fast take. Smoke's going to be in a slightly different placement this time. Molotov's to green to the site, and Uber's making his way forward all the way onto the train, but he's going to go down. It's Sick, who playing an angle up against that green train, and basically the same outer take, a little bit different, and it's been completely shut down. Nifty, Sick has just walked by him. Nifty backpedaling and right into Sick. So that's a bit of a problem, and I have figured out that train. The smoke that goes down on top of the red train is to block the player in CT Sky from having any vision, and that also allows Selfless to go up on the blue train if they see fit.
So after seeing that round play out, I think the one thing is in front of E-Box there's no smoke, right? And it looks as if they're trying to give vision to the terrorists because you don't want to smoke a wall across the site and do like 5 smokes that block you out of everything because you need to get a kill to ensure you win the round, right? And that's why they left that open, but they only had Uber swing wide. So no one there to trade and no one there to assist them or cover any other angles.
Well, speaking of Uber, he goes down ladder, a quick peek out, and he'll bring down FNS, who's playing up against the red train. Meanwhile, Relics can't win that one with the Tech 9. Automatic will get the best of them. We've got ourselves a 4-on-4 going down the ladder. Uber looking for another pick there, but it gets caught midair, and it's actually Sick, who will grab a double kill from it. And Nifty, oh my goodness, missing that one dig. You don't expect the second to connect, but it does. He even finds a third kill, bringing down Sick. Left by himself, though, and now on 11 HP. Memphis has posted up at an angle looking at E-Box, and yeah, he will get it through the wall. What a shot there by Memphis.
At first it looked like he was just in potato mode, and then lined up the flick through the wall, kills him in T-Con. Very nice. Well played. Solomid come away with their 10 rounds on T side. Selfless having a much better half than we saw yesterday on the T side of Train, but started out 4-0, right? They had the pistol, they won the anti-ecos, and then they lost one round, made a weird decision to buy, and a lot of these weird buys come out early in the half from both teams.
Well, yeah, TSM started it off with the weird buying, right? They had the shoddy snipes round, as I like to say, with the scouts and the mag 7s, but they actually converted it.
Yeah, they actually converted it, right? Even though it was a weird decision, that was because Selfless like kind of trickled into them, right? Automatic was able to get 2 mag 7 kills unanswered, 100 HP, inner control, all that bad good stuff.
All that bad good stuff, indeed. And then that put Selfless in a bit of economic downturn, and then they made the very questionable buying decisions, which essentially
that one force up
it ruined their half.
Truly
basically.
Strange, yeah.
Like straight away in round either 5 or 6 when it happened. That's when we had I'm going to have to just count on my fingers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in a row from TSM after that point where Selfless make the bad buying decision. A win on an island for Selfless, and then as we saw just recently, TSM closed up the half with 2 in a row.
And the closest that Selfless got was, funnily enough, the 2v5 that ended up in a 2v2 that Relics and Uber were able to get all their kills in. And here's just a highlight reel from the first half.
This is when things are going well for Selfless. Like, we are killing everyone. They have pistols. They have no armor. We are the best. We've got out to a 4-0, and then TSM have grinded their way back. And this is actually Selfless again, paying the price, being on just pistols, trying to kind of throw their quick. We can see the smokes and the Molotovs down on their outer take. This is when the smoke misses and there were no flashes, and Memphis just goes to work. He misses this shot, but he does eventually grab this third kill.
And again, just him having the shooting gallery with players coming down the ramp with bad spacing. Like, if you have good spacing, there's enough room in there for 2 people.
Oh!
Yeah, just through the wall. There's enough room on that ramp for 2 people. Yeah, like, for some reason, you have Selfless. One player comes out, the other player comes out when the op is done cycle. That is the perfectly, or how do I say this? That is the absolute worst way to space an execute or a rundown.
And now we will switch sides. TSM this time going to get it done from the Terrace perspective. Selfless playing defense. They'll go for armors. Nifty with a kit and a flash in mainline. We see this position actually go unchecked very, very often, not only in pistol rounds, but also rifles. So mainline could be a big part of this. Not a lot of utility for TSM. It's only FNS who's gone for it. It all comes down to this. There you go, mainline. You don't have to do any more. He gets one and he falls back. Very well done.
And that's it. Yeah, he falls off into the site, and then we just play fundamentals, right? This is a round where Selfless got the 5v4. It's very huge, especially on the CT pistol, where you have quite a good or distinct advantage in that Ts don't get to abuse the thought of many players having utility, right? On other rounds, you have armor and utility. On pistol rounds, people like armor and like to keep it light, run out, hit shots. So from that perspective, USP PDK becomes much stronger. And, Relic's actually re-aggressing here. Off of a flash, however, and decides not to fall back, pushes up more, and made some noise. It takes Gush.
Ooh. Yeah, brain matter all over the walls, but Relic's still alive. And Nifty, he's fallen. Finesse grabbing that kill with the help of 6. So we've got a 4-on-4, and again, Relic's very low HP. Uber sitting in a powerful spot. And what a shot there from Uber. And another one, as he's falling down, he gets automatic. That's 2 for Uber. And things are going well for Selfless right now. Finesse going to try to move forward, make the difference. It's actually Twist that will bring down mainline. Uber grabbing his 3rd of the round, and it's Twist all alone in this 1 versus 3.
He doesn't have enough time to win this round, ultimately. There are actually 2 people alive in Z while exposing himself to everyone. But 6 seconds left, and yeah, no chance to do that. That was a really nice one-tap from our boy Uber right here. From boosted within Z, and you're getting that position because when people throw the Z smoke, you're able to see over it, so that's a nice spot for any kind of A attack or A exec that you might expect. But there's Selfless converting that 5v4, keeping everyone alive and falling back pretty safely, and then winning the round 3v1. Very nice.
That was sick. I gotta stop saying that was sick when Sick is playing. It's not my fault.
He chose like the most common word of the 2000s.
Yeah, right. We'll go with that was dirty.
That was nasty.
That was nifty. That was money.
Money
Thank
shot.
you, production, giving us some more.
There we go.
As we've got the UMP on Relics and 2 MP9s on mainline and Nifty, but a nice blend of rifles and submachine guns. And I know that our analyst will be happy Uber does not have a P90.
Yeah.
They're probably celebrating right now.
I think every gun around $2,000 is pretty much a waste of money in this meta.
Go big or go home is what you're saying. Either buy a rifle or go for the MAC-10 MP9 UMP territory.
Yeah.
Or I suppose the shotguns as well. Sick is going to try his best to get the entry frags here with the Tech 9. Finesse as well doing the same thing, but he's got a longer range as he'll be coming out of ladder. It's Sick who's worked his way into the CT back halls and over the workbench. He's found Mitch. What a nade. Hitting him in midair it looks like, but Sick, he's going to go ahead and find 2 kills. No problem. Now he's got himself a FAMAS. Uber's been spotted up on the ladder, so he's just going to decide to stand up, take the fight. Wins the first one. That's a kill on the Semphis, but then exposing himself to too many players, automatic kills him with the CZ. Finesse waiting on Nifty, and here's Selfless falling apart on this round, losing to the force buy of TSM. Sick grabs a triple.
This kid is marbles. How does he do it, man? 2 entries. Oh my god, he's actually 21 and 10 at this moment, and converting the second round on Selfless. They gave up Ivy control, and I mean, you know, as a CT, Ivy is kind of hard to deal with with low utility. Second round, you don't want to have so much utility because you don't want to be caught with a nade out. Stuff you want to burn early on. But I guess when they gave it up and they didn't try to re-aggress, it's really tough to say. I mean, ultimately, they didn't get their first kills, and they didn't hit their shots, and they got overwhelmed by Tech 9s. And the bottom line is I don't think there was too many flaws in the setup that Selfless has, apart from not having a strategy for how to deal with that kind of Ivy hit.
We got 2 players in here for Selfless. We'll call it a stack. And a rotation has come over as well, so playing pretty heavy over to this inner site with just the pistols. That's Selfless right now.
I quite like this decision, and I actually buy up.
And TSM are walking straight into it, but it doesn't really matter. Semphis and Automatic getting the frags. Mainline was able to get in there with 1, but quickly traded out. And TSM man advantage. Semphis looking to hunt them down, and he wants that money. That's exactly what he'll find, $600. But then goes down to Mitch, who has that 5-7. The triumvirate here, but he's all alone.
Selfless just decided to eat that loss, and it would have gone probably just as badly as this round did if they spent it. So I think that was an honest-to-goodness good decision. They could have. The only time that you would want to make the choice to buy after losing the second round is if you had done so much damage on the second round that you'd be one away from having the 3-for-1. In this case, Solomid, it was like almost nobody died. I think it was one person. So there's barely any incentive because if you win that round off of the force-up, you still have to go up against a buy from the other team. And that's pretty much why it's so good for Solomid, who are now 12-6. But Selfless here, letting the game get away from them. Pistol was critical component to a comeback. And yeah,
wow.
it's going to be another save. So I think last time they hung onto their nades. I don't know if these ones are going to be going to T-Con or not, but
Yeah, you would think it's just, you know, kind of like long and dust too, right? Just toss the nades all into one area and see if you don't catch one of those terrorists out, or even multiple. But they're holding on to them right now, so there'll be nades thrown on response to something that TSM does, which right now seems to be setting up for a 3-2 outer split coming from Ivy and T-Con. So a fairly old school strat here. Mitch with one of those nades, and it will do 0 damage. Nifty taking some, and Mitch, there it is. Mitch, he's so good with the deagle. How does he do it? Back-to-back 1 deags, dose deags. Automatic gets 2 with the M4, and Nifty still trying to take this fight with the USP, brought down to 9 HP. Look at Semfis on 1 HP, FNS on 38. This is a very winnable round right now from Selfless.
ooh, FNS has got to do work here because
Yeah.
Semfis is down to 1 HP.
That P250, though, if it connects, may take him down.
Oh, I love that.
Uber maybe. Oh, Semfis
Oh.
pulling out a grenade. The smoke there, and Mainline's killed him. He's taking up the op right now, and he brings down FNS with it. Selfless on a full eco are back into this.
Shout out to Mitch. That was a couple of 1Ds to shut down that Ivy pressure. That's kind of like what you needed versus that eco early on, but there we have
But the question, where's the utility? Why don't we flash out of Ivy? Why is there no smoke? Mitch shouldn't be in a position where he can just have a clean line of sight, 2 1-deags.
Yeah, I mean, they decided to just walk up and try to trade, and ultimately there was a crossfire with them, so smoking off one side would have been very good for them. I can totally see the argument for that. Solomid, however, have another buy. And off of the full eco, we'll see what kind of damage can be done. Great opportunity for Selfless to get their claws back into this game.
Yeah, or for TSM to just reset them again.
Oh my god, that was
Semfis
disgusting
grabbing
from
both
Semfis.
there on the entry. I have a feeling we'll be seeing that from his perspective
That's
in
a
just
save.
a little bit.
Yeah, that's a save. Even if your solo inner guys dies right away, meaning you have no info and you have a full rotate out of the site, you got someone at Ive, you got someone pushed up out to T-Con, you've got someone on bomb train, and you have a 4th man on the site at A, you could still save in that situation. Like, it's hard enough, 5v4, everything is smoked out, all the nades are still up for the Ts, which is the most pertinent point, but when Semfis walks out like that and kills both of your guys, like, there's absolutely no chance you're going to win, so trying to hide with their guns makes the most sense. But they've got to frag out now.
Yeah, they are going to have to fight for their right to keep these rifles into the next round. And Relics will start off. The shot onto Semfis. Now they know what's going on. Automatic. Oh, he spots the barrel. There's not really a wallbang here. So he'll back off and Selfless. All right, they will live to fight another day and actually have money on 2 other players. So there's going to be a full round coming out for Selfless. They're not completely reset because they saved the rifles.
Yeah, it's actually a huge save. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
the end of the world for them. Again, a lot of advantages to play on CT side, but wow, that
Here's Semfis.
oh, this is disgusting right here. Nifty just gets sent back in time.
Vansili, my Padawan, doing well with these
Is what he
missed
said.
perspective replays. And now we've got another slow round here for TSM. Just working things. Mainline not quite pushing up into the halls. There's a big presence here for TSM, though. 2 players going down, and Sick just going to maintain ladder control. Make sure they don't get flanked.
Selfless have a huge informational advantage here. That's what we saw in the pistol from the other team, and they were pushed into an inner hit off the info that Ivy had been pushed, but now they don't know that, so Selfless in a really good spot mentally.
Molotov over to the Z connector from Sick. He's worked his way out to the electrical box, and he will get that first kill onto Uber. That cleans off the site. Semfis, the sniper, bringing down Relics. Mitch waiting on a smoke push through here on the pallet, basically standing on top of him. He'll put automatic down. Semfis, meanwhile, hitting another op shot, making a TSM 4 to Selfless's 2 here on round 21. And Selfless in a position where need to get out of here and possibly save one more time because the economy, as we know, not going to be in a good spot. Semfis seeing something, taking a shot, now blind, but still not forced off of this angle.
Oh, I swear he completely saw Mitch there, but wasn't able to capitalize. And Mitch just wants to run away with his life, knows that's not going to be an easy task. Ooh, does that kill him? Does it find that frag on the Semfis and a second one? But these are simply consolation frags. They don't mean much. Solomid are just one away from getting to that big win on the first map.
Yeah, and let's not forget this was the pick of Selfless here, which was a bit of a surprise considering they had such a rough time on train against, I believe it was Optic that they played. Yes. Wow, my memory actually works.
You must eat a lot of goldfish. I heard that's good for your memory.
Goldfish have terrible memory?
That's why you eat them.
Okay. I don't know if that logic checks out, but yes. So what can they talk about here? Selfless. Actually, let me check their money real quick. It's not good, but they did save. Did just Mainline save? Where are the CTs? Mainline's got an op, yeah, so he was the only one to save an op and some utility. Deagle on Mitch, which I don't think we can really underestimate that. Mitch seems to actually quite consistently frag out with his Deagle. Some crazy antics he had on Cash in an earlier match, especially that shot through the smoke. And then here we've already seen him with 2 really nice 1-Deags consecutively.
It's really hard to think about what they want to talk about because that outside take was, crushing defeat where 3 entries went the way of Solomid. They basically did things standard, right? They took outside, they threw a couple of smokes, they got presence, they made sure everyone was in a position to find a kill, and then all of the kills just fell in line, right? Ultimately, Sick finding that kill on Bomb Train was a huge one. That made it 5v4. That allowed the site to be a lot more compromisable, and they did take advantage of that. Right after, right, to follow 2 more entries come out, and so it's kind of hard to follow the action on a map like Train, where a site is just an incredible concatenation of nades from both sides.
Good word choice. Yeah, Train, even for like a lot of people don't think about it, but as an observer, it's actually really hard to observe. Not only do you have like the halls that go over T-Con, so it's kind of hard to tell where people are, but you've got such long sight lines, like Ivy to ladder, T-Con to Ivy, Z to T-Con. Like there's so many chaotic things.
Yeah.
Inner's a little bit more simple, I guess. But Sick, whose name we have been saying a lot, and also probably using it as an adjective a little bit. 102 ADR, followed up by Semfis and Automatic, both sitting on an identical 99.7 ADR. So 3 players having a really big performance for TSM. And meanwhile, on Selfless, there's really nobody.
And again, for you guys who are new, the storyline for us throughout this tournament has been TSM's first LAN together, and then Sick and Twists coming together as players who have never been to a LAN in the first place, or at least one of this size, and performing well. Performing like they're sitting comfortably at home. So there are players who have been known to suffer from crippling anxiety and not be able to perform in a LAN environment when they don't have all their conditions. You know what I mean? They don't have their chair at the right height. They don't get their mom in the other room.
Some players don't even attend LANs that they're invited to.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens all the time. And for someone who is so young, it's even more of a liability, right? They've got just they've got the thing is with young players, there's always the potential for them to have be just more emotional, not like unstable or mentally ill or something. But if you're younger, you're just maybe more emotional, so the stress might get to you. A lot of different factors, and it seems like they're free of any of those concerns, which is probably a big relief for players like FNS and Semfis, who decided to take a risk on them, and also don't know whether or not they are going to be perfectly okay, right? It's kind of a situation where you don't know if you're going to be comfortable until you get into it. And they have been just performing really well, and they're about to take a map in such a convincing fashion with all of the players that they expect to show up doing their part.
I think maybe just the first map was where Twist had a little bit of trouble, but since then he has been a consistent force, a fragging force for TSM. Sick as well has been playing great and continues to do so here on this map. And yeah, I mean, Twist on this map not necessarily doing amazing, but it's not really needed when you're winning 14-7. As mainlined again, to recap, he did save the op and somehow missing that very, very first shot. Hits their harder one though onto FNS as he's trying to jump across. Now mainline just buying some time, causing a distraction. Flash's Molotov's going up. Look at Automatic still lurking on the outside site. Mitch, though, with a deagle will put him down. Now there's Twist. Finds that frag on a Nifty. Mainline nearly hitting one through the smoke. That would have been fortunate. Sick to bring down Uber, and it's all falling on mainline. Mitch was able to pick up that AK, and he's found his second kill, brought down to 33 HP, still trying to go forward. It's all falling onto Twist, and Mitch, he's going to grab 3.
Wow, I love how mainline was just making noise with that op, like trying to find new openings, making sure to spam as much as possible. And this might be masking footsteps of who knows what, but it's also trying to take attention towards him and away from his teammates who did end up dying. Ultimately, it was Mitch to come through on that retake and help him out, get those 3 frags, and that was amazing. So nice recovery after Selfless decide to save because they were 1 away from match point. They were willing to play back from it. I mean, I guess that was the kind of crux of the conversation for Ryu is, do we want to play back from match point, or do we want to go for one of our forces if we have a strategy? And I guess the players, you know, in maybe not in unison, but ultimately agreed that it was best to be a little bit more responsible and realize that we can do this 1 round at a time.
And Selfless, let's not forget, they've got 1 round that they won on full eco. And that one is essentially a full eco, mainline having saved an op the round before. So, interesting is what I will say. For how Selfless have got 2 of their 8 rounds, and maybe a bit of a question of why TSM has let that happen twice. Finesse here in the hallways, looking to grab control of that. Mainline posted up with his op at a very aggressive angle, just looking up, hoping someone's going to be walking by, going quietly. And is that exactly what's going to happen here? Oh, they peek fast out lower. That'll bait the shot, and that's information over to TSM. They know an op is playing on the inner site. They don't know that it's mainline with the op and that Nifty has one as well.
But see, just getting him to fall off of that, knowing that he has the op, he's no way he's going to regress, means that they don't even have to play inner now. They have gained map control just by pushing him off of his position.
Well, Nifty getting a little bit aggressive, actually pulling back slightly. He's let Semphis take that angle, but then a flash will push Semphis right off of it. So Nifty's now posted up. And he misses the shot. The man peeking out lower. Might have actually hit Sick, who's low on HP. 1 more quick shot from Nifty. Not going to connect. And now Sick has moved all the way out of the T-connector. Semphis opts out Nifty, winning the sniper duel on the outside yard. FNS takes down Relics, and it's Uber up top. We saw him here on a pistol round doing something. Now with an M4, he grabs 1, decides to push forward. Flick shot over onto Sick. Almost grabbing 1 more, but not quite. It's Twist that will bring him down, and a team ace for Solomid to get on to match point.
Wow, they just did such a good job of neutralizing Nifty there from hell. He had a couple of opportunities to find an op kill, took 2 or 3 shots, fell off, and then ultimately got picked off by an op. So really nice win from Solomid. They were able to just basically identify where the ops were and not simply peek into one. Right? They baited the shots out, push the oppers off of their marks, and then hit a site. Really nice, fundamental round of CS from Solomid.
Now we can see Selfless, right? Faced with match point, have to buy up with everything they can. It's 3 rifles, now just 2 because Uber has fallen, but Relics works his way in with the P250. That'll give him an AK in a 4-on-4 situation. Minute 30 to go. Bomb still waiting patiently, actually waiting on any push from Ivy, but it hasn't happened yet. FNS and Semphis moving up to the halls. It's Mitch to get aggressive in the T-connector. And he smokes, and maybe could have stayed there, but will decide to fall back.
4v4 situation. Some would say that this could make the map a little bit more T-sided. Depends how the advantages are played. Ladder control is taken, and a couple of players have scurried their way over into the brown halls, clearing stuff out. It's actually Selfless to play 2-2, which means that they feel like inner is a little bit more vulnerable right now and needs to be fortified. Typically, you can play 1 person here, especially in a 5v4. And oh, is that angle perfect? Relics.
May just come down to timing here. Man on the ladder, and then Relics peeks out. Mainline comes up empty-handed, but it's enough of a distraction. Relics gets 2. Sick elsewhere on the map will find Mitch. That's outside on A, where Sick grabs that kill. So we have a 2-on-2 situation. Both CTs and inner, both terrorists on the outer yard, and Sick posting up at the angle, trying to get them coming through Z-connector. Has spotted Nifty, and nicely done. Hits the headshot there. It's Relics. He's actually going to have to get the ace. He's already got 3 kills. Can he make it 4? And then can he make it 5? I see a man going up the ladder. Relics is in, I don't know if this is hot pursuit, but it's certainly pursuit. And the ladder's not being watched, so Relix finds the kill, now dropping out. Bomb on the other side of the train here. Sick playing the post-plant position. Relix no kit either, so he will have to go quickly, and he goes out. He gets it, Relix, the ace, and time for the defuse, extending Selfless and their map of train.
Wow, that's a big one. That's a big one. With those all headshots, got 4 headshots on the round in that ace. He's got to be feeling really great about that round. It's the one that keeps his team in the game, and it was a 1v3 after, or no, it was actually a 1v2.
No, we had a 2v2 at 1 point.
1v2,
So yeah, 1v2.
3K inner hold. A lot of great things to be said about that, except for the fact that it was Solomid. They kind of have the advantage moving into that clutch. So here are a couple of the frags. And identifying Heaven was a big one, right? Because he had no kind of tell that it was going to be a player that to go up there. I think it was based off of tendencies or just reads, or maybe just deciding that's something I would do, and then finding the frag.
Well, Uber and Relix getting 2 very quick kills. There's Automatic with the CZ. You can see TSM have sort of forced up around this round 25, and it's not working out for them. Still a 2-on-3. Automatic taking some more damage, and he's not sure from where it is, but look at FNS. Great position. Nifty, though. He is the savior of this round, perhaps. And now Automatic left in a 1 versus 3. Doesn't have the bomb. He's going to try to get the kills. We'll find Nifty at Old Bomb. The spray, it's not quite there. He tries to reset, but mainline is a little too quick.
Can't put the bullets into the body, and now it's Solomid. 5 match points remaining for Selfless to get back into this. They have to bring it to OT to win. So close to losing, but also not that far from tying. I mean, ultimately they have a good advantage here. They have the utility advantage. They have a force up that they were able to provoke out of Solomid. That's a free round.
They're just going quick with the pistols. Mainline has heard that or not. Looks like he has. He will let that Molotov fly. No one going out of the lower ramp, though. Everyone. It's going to be the waterfall strategy. Mainline, he's not come away with anything straight away. Okay, Semphis will take himself out. Mainly thanks to Mainline, and Sick with a quick double. This has got it very interesting into a 3-on-3 with the bomb having gone down. Rifles in, well, now one of the hands. That's just Sick. He'll be brought down by Uber's MP9, and things are cleaned up. Selfless keep 3 alive and go up to 11 rounds.
You know, the bomb goes down, which is really important. Now Selfless are just 4 away. It would be quite the story to see Alpha the back of that 1v2 ace with Relix a couple of rounds ago, that Selfless were able to stage a comeback and survive, staving off map 2 for as long as they do.
Yeah, map 2, it will be Cobble. If anyone is just tuning in, a map that Selfless have had kind of mixed results on so far in the tournament.
We can see Semphis really wants this op, has no armor to accompany it.
Yeah, so pulling out that glass cannon op. Nifty with an op of his own actually just took about 20 damage. 24 to be exact from the Molotov. Twist and Sick. These guys have been like partners in crime on a lot of the T-side rounds for TSM across the maps that we've played. In particular, that one on Overpass that they played yesterday. TSM taking it very, very slow. Sick gonna maybe start setting up a bit of a distraction. Smoke to block off. Oh, Nifty. That's quite a shot. That's gonna be onto Semphis, and the Omp gonna switch hands, going over to Finesse right now.
Now we see a full passive setup inner now. They've gotten their frag. They can think about fortifying another place on the map. Here's Ivy control taken in response. Sick, is he able to see out of the corner of the smoke? I can't tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And here's Mitch in mainline. Starting to go to work here over in Ivy. The back hall stopping him as they run out. Twist does actually get out though. Kill onto Relix, but Uber up top. Gonna make sure it doesn't get out of hand. Finesse missing some shots, and Uber with a double. Selfless staying in it, and I think maybe even breaking the economy of TSM one more time. Yeah, they're left in about a little over $3,000 on a couple of the players. So the pistols will come out. Some utility. Sick has actually gone in for armor, and I can kind of see why. Actually, no, everyone's going in for armor. So this is a bit of a heavy buy.
Yeah, they're on the
they're
riding the loss bonus. Yeah, so they can buy up here, an automatic, not spending as much money, I suppose. So because he wants the ops, does he have a little bit more? Or are they all even?
Automatic has 2,100. Everyone else is below $2,000. So
Okay.
he's got a bit more. I guess he feels with the Deagle, he'll be on the back lines, kind of just baiting his teammates and won't necessarily need the armor.
Not out of the realm of possibility that Solomid are able to win this. They were able to eco Selfless following the pistol, if you don't remember, in this second half.
And we can see TSM now just lining up their smokes. Dick is going to be in ladder room. He'll be brought down by Uber. That's the first contact made. Selfless went out there. And now a Molotov to stop their forward progress at the T connector. And basically, Selfless know what's going on here. And it's going to be a matter of hitting the shots. Plugging in the blender and pressing go. And Semphis with 1 kill and then a ridiculous one off the ladder. Some acrobatics here.
Swag would win this.
Possibly. 15-13, all off of Relic's big individual play, grabbing the ace quite a few rounds ago.
What happens now? Semphis, the op that we saw, be in the hands of his teammates. This is and we look at this round as the last opportunity to have a lot of money. Now, it's kind of strange because Selfless are at 13 right now. It's really hard to look back that far, but there was a round right after, where Selfless were able to perform the full eco and get them back into it, that Solomid decided to force up following it because their money was all uneven. But if they saved that one round, they might have had an extra opportunity to buy. Here, it's their pretty much last chance, and we'll have loss bonus to follow. Did they keep any money left over? If they keep any money left over will mean a lot. Yeah, they have some. Those are just a couple of nades, right? Because you're talking about 3,500. So looking for a plan at the least, but a round win.
Oh, how
for peace of mind.
Inquisitive is Uber right now. Uber's pushing to the T connector. He hasn't gone further yet, but TSM essentially from the start of this round have just been placed up in these hallways, ready to go into the B site. They've waited out a few smokes, a few Molotovs, and with a minute to go on the clock, they're going to execute out. That's a flash from Sick. Mainline playing here in between the trains. Bit of an NA flash, but it hasn't mattered yet. Semphis gets the first shot. What? Automatic somehow in the air or on the ladder. Either way, how does he get that kill? Semphis chiming in with his second now of the round, and it's Selfless left in a 2 versus 5, an almost impossible situation. Bomb going down just now, so retake is on. Mitch gets the first kill, but brought down by Automatic. Uber, 1 out of the Z connector. That's onto Sick, left now in a 1 versus 3 nade. Not a bad one, man. Finesse just a little bit lower. That would have taken him out.
He's got a lot of work to do. Angles to clear, options to take over, and no, Twist come away with the duel, and it's him to win the round for his team. Not only the round, but the map. Solomid, 16-13. After quite a stellar comeback from Selfless. From what was the original scoreline? I think 15-9. Relics was able to.
I believe it was the 1v3 clutch that also was an ace. Got them into double digits. And then also messed up the economy of TSM a little bit, which allowed Selfless to extend it. They actually went on a 5-in-a-row run. And then TSM, of course, winning that last round and winning the map 16-13. And that, of course, was the pick of Selfless. Selfless picking Train, which right away was, I guess, not entirely questionable because we know it's a decent map for them. But the one result they've had on it already, just getting 1 round against Optic, like that's got to hurt your confidence a little.
Definitely not the king of vetoes.
Yeah, a lot of questions there because they keep taking out Nuke, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of have to agree that the point has been raised. It's been on the desk, and I think Mega Man's already reiterated it. It's like, why do you not just ban Cobble and then just take the chance that possibly Nuke comes up, and maybe you're just both unprepared for Nuke as opposed to likely losing Cobble. But I guess, you know, time will tell. Cobble is map 2. It was TSM's pick, and we'll see if Selfless can get over to map 3.
I don't know if there's potential for it. You know, losing your map pick doesn't actually mean a whole lot in this tournament. That's
true.
For sure. But even still, you've got to give the advantage to the team who did pick the map, and so I can only assume that TSM are fully prepared this time on day 3 to secure the map that they chose.
All right. Well, we're going to go down to the desk. That will once again be Puckett, Garrett, and James, guys.
All right. Thank you, you beautiful men. James, Garrett. Garrett, you came in. Whole lot of excitement. You're like, I believe in this Selfless T side. They can get it done on Train. They started off 4-0. But at the end of the day, it's TSM winning their map choice again, or Selfless's map choice again. What went wrong, and what did you see coming into this game?
Well, when I talked to them at the hotel, they really gave me some false confidence in how their T-side training was going to be. They were just saying, like, when they lost 16-1 against Optic, that, like, you know, they just weren't throwing their nades properly. They were bumping into each other, doing all these little mistakes. And like, you know what, we didn't even get a chance. And they gave me this false confidence thinking that okay, you know what, I'll let that map slide. And it was an outlier. And then I have stats here of like the last 2 months. They're 2-6 on train, and I'm like, you know what? I'm listening to them. Maybe they're actually bet on, and they picked it, so they gotta be confident, right? And they gotta actually know what they're doing. But watching, besides the 4-0 lead, watching all the gun mounts after that, and all the buys they had, and all the their execution on stuff, it was brutal. There was absolutely they didn't TSM did a great job holding. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But again, their map control and trying to take over areas, they got constantly picked off being sloppy, and it just shows me now that that Optic match wasn't an outlier, and that's just why would you pick Train?
It didn't work out for them, and we are very critical about the economy choices that we've seen out of TSM. This time it worked for Selfless and the boys, James. Like, did he get lucky here, or how did things play out? Because TSM was just going for buy after buy after buy.
Like we said.
So I think that TSM really outclassed Selfless, although it didn't totally show on the score line.
Okay.
That's why I picked TSM to win. They lost the first couple rounds, so TSM lost pistol, then 4-spot, then lost, then on 4th round gun round they're like, okay, let's go. Low utility. It's the story we've been harping on. Just fix this one thing, NA, please, come on. So after you get that going, then they lose that 4th round.
Right.
And then guess what? Semphis needs to go to the casino because he's doubling down. He's like, let's just force buy scouts.
I love scouts.
Shotguns. Let's do it. We're gonna swing things back in our favor.
They're confident with it.
Yeah, he is. He's arrogant and confident. I actually like it.
I like it too.
Yeah,
but if they lose that round, it's just gonna.
So, but what happens is he goes into that round, and by a top tier 1 team, they're going to punish that buy. But guess what? Selfless, just like Lemmings, goes one at a time towards a shotgun. Just like, hey, I just got shotgunned. I got shotgun. Wait, it's my turn. Can I get shotgun?
They didn't learn the lesson from Cobble just one map ago.
Apparently.
But the main thing about that as well, with these force buys, after they won that round, the double down round, they had Selfless, they still had control of the map at that point. They still had the advantage of really making it like a lopsided T half. It's just all the rounds after that, TSM did what I talked about when you're doing these force buys and the money situation is tight. In order to take advantage of it, is you need to win clean rounds. And they had 2 rounds right after that force buy where they won 5-0, 4-0, and they built that economy for the rest of the half where they just ran over them because they afforded everything and Sellers had no money.
And TSM on CT side did have some fantastic holds. We do have an example of it. This is round 14, I believe, guys. What did you see in this round as Selfless was trying to break in with their AKs?
Well, this is okay. So they were successful with an outside take just before this.
Nobody's bumping into each other.
Yeah, they had to execute outside where they were successful, and then now they try to be a little cheeky and they changed the execute a little bit with this thinking, maybe it's the change they needed. But then TSM is just in a position. Maybe the communications were on par, or maybe Selfless pacing was off, but they just ran over them with no kills traded.
Yeah, it's. So the one strat that they talked about that they had was an outside rush.
Exactly.
Okay, that's literally step 1, base 1 level CS. That is
of train.
Yeah, of anything CS.
Oh,
hey,
really?
Let's go one direction and throw a bunch of stuff and then shoot stuff. That's stuff that's matchmaking strats. Okay, that's stuff you call in ESEA pugs. I would expect Ryu and mainline to have a little bit higher level strategy for how high they talk about how they know the game, and I expect more from them.
So you didn't see what you wanted in terms of the play calls. Also, I was hanging out with Oso in the back room, and as the analyst, he was being very frustrated with the individual player decisions. It just seemed they seemed off. They're making plays that they shouldn't, and they know they shouldn't. It just seemed that TSM was just throwing them off their game.
Yeah.
And here's some examples of why Selfless wasn't able to get much going. Selfless and the boys had some fantastic frags throughout train. I mean, we could talk about the Selfless issues, but tell me some of the good things we saw out of Team Solomid.
Yeah, TSM, besides obviously the slow start they had, they held everything outside. They did not have, they weren't put in bad situations, and all the rounds they won were concisive. They weren't close rounds. They dominated them whenever they had a strat thrown at them. So they were able to build such economy that even if they lost like potentially 2-3 rounds in a row, they could still full buy. They were just completely all over them. Selfless played excellent. Sick played excellent. Like those two guys really took control of the CT side, and there was no one on Selfless on T side that actually stepped up to really give them a chance. Like there was nothing that they were able to throw at them, and no one individually was able to be like, you know what, I'm going to take this in my own hands. Kind of like how Relics did yesterday. Yeah, he wasn't able to do it today, but like no one else is helping out.
Yeah, Sick had 28 kills. He was +8, and he carried them.
Sick, yeah, he was on top of the leaderboard basically all game. Selfless to close things out. Like once Selfless started getting that a little bit of momentum at the end, you thought maybe they can force an overtime somehow here. I love how Selfless just jumps through a smoke, picks up 2 kills, and it's like, no, this game's done.
He was the original Stewie 2K.
Yeah.
Before Stewie 2K was even playing CS, Selfless was charging through smokes. All right, so Game 1 is in the books, but we still have potentially 2 more to go. This, again, was Selfless's pick. Up next, we're going to be taking our game to Cobble, a map that they got blown out on against Tempo Storm, but we did see some opportunities when Selfless played Tempo. They started getting those first kills. Those didn't always translate into round wins, though. We'll talk about it a little bit more. We'll let the casters talk about it more after the break. But, guys, give me your predictions. What can Selfless do to get to a Game 3? I know you at the start called it a 2-0. What do you foresee happening here, James?
The only way that Selfless has a chance to get back into this game, TSM, isn't their favorite map Cobble? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So the only way that they're going to have a chance against a team they just lost to on their map pick to get back into the game on Cobble is they got to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it stupid, simple.
Yeah, one of those. They just need to keep it simple because they do not have the ability. So I'm going to give them a strat. Maybe I can yell it. All you need to do is just contact out places, use your fragging ability, and shoot stuff. Because this whole spreading
Advanced
out type,
strategy.
just literally, just keep it simple. Contact out, walk out. They call old
Pop
school
flash,
calls it DZ, dead zone. Just walk out places and shoot people because don't let them use their brains right now because they're not working.
Ouch. All right.
Aye.
GB James telling everybody how he feels today.
I mean,
It's true though.
Selfless have a chance here. What's the round number, boys?
You know what? They've given me no hope in these last 3 maps that they've played total. TSM loves this map. I'm going to go 16-10 because NACS and because like at least they play each other. Actually, no, they probably never played on Cobble with each other because they don't scrim it. So yeah,
16-10.
16-10 generous.
Because why not?
16-8.
Both calling a TSM 2-0. We'll find out. Are our analysts correct? We'll be back. Game 2 after this.